Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parco here, Brian Galki, and we're Aces53. All right, so we weren't here last week, were we? On Thursday? No, we weren't because you were
Tuesday we
doing
were, but Thursday we weren't.
because you were at the high level event, which I
Yes.
got to see some of it, not all of it, but some of the stuff I got from it. Thanks to you, thank you.
Yeah.
I really looked into it, and it was amazing the things that they're doing and the changes, and the fact that I was just glad that you were able to get on stage.
Yeah, they released 700 new releases of things that are going to be going into the product, either that is in there now or will be coming before 2025, and it was insane. Because in 1 hour, what they covered was crazy, but just high level, no pun intended. They're going to have webinars built in now. They're going to have the collab app, which is its own community.
Right.
So they partnered with mastermind.com on that to help do things. AI, everything, you name it. They did a demo.
The demo of the AI voice?
Yes,
Yeah, talk about
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. AI voice was absolutely insane. And what is that for people who don't know? It's where you can set up basically an AI bot, but it's when somebody calls in, and the example they have in the demo that they used was somebody who's calling because they need a plumber. And it sounds like a lady's voice. Hi, this is Marissa. How can I help you? Yeah, I've got a busted pipe. Okay. And can I get your name? They asked the name. Hey, can I make sure that I spelled Tim right? Is it Tim? It sounded like a live person.
And it actually did, because I usually can pick them out. And I was like, wow, that is really good.
Yes. And which is good, but it should scare people at the exact same time, because like we've been talking about, if you're not learning branding and soft skills, AI will replace you. Mm-hmm. There is no doubt about it. Everything that I saw last week is people need to fear it and learn to adapt and use it. Mm-hmm. Because if you just think, oh, it's going away, it's not. And if you think, oh, well, I have special skill, do you really? Or is it something that can be replaced by AI?
Oh my God, I have to go back to my room.
Yeah. Well, I'm dead serious. After everything I saw the other week, I started thinking of how much more I can do as just a solopreneur. And then you start thinking, what are the people I used to have to pay to do things for? So you and I talked about this previously. Opus Clips, before Opus Clips, I needed a video editor. Now I can knock it out in 20 minutes, where I go upload a video to YouTube, put it in Opus Clips. I could post the Opus Clips video, but I want B-roll footage that I want in my videos. So between Opus Clips and CapCut, that's how I get my videos out there. And as of this morning, I'm at 193,000 followers on Instagram. Now, again, that's a vanity metric, because that doesn't mean they're customers. That's just followers. Right. But it shows that I can do it on my own. So really, what am I going to pay a video editor to do if I'm already seeing that success on my own?
What that means is you can hire somebody, almost anybody, to be able to do that for you. Mm-hmm. Is what I heard. Not because you shouldn't be doing.
I shouldn't. Right.
Yeah. But let's back up one more second. So on stage this time, did you have something for people to scan and get that was different and join your email list?
We did. So this time we worked with Joel, who've had on the podcast before. So him and Bree, or Brianna, which one, everyone you want to call her. They were both attending. Why? Because they wanted to learn everything that Go Level has as well. And on a side note on that, somebody snapped a picture for me. So I had a friend of mine that went as my +1 with her. And I said, hey, take pictures of me for everything. Joel sat up front, and Joel was the first one standing, taking pictures of me on stage. That says what a good guy he is. You know, he could say, oh, you're just a client. And instead, Joel is a cheerleader. And that's one thing I don't want that to be missed at all, is he went to learn, but he was the first one there to stand up, support, and take photos. And that was a really cool thing with Joel. Now I got sidetracked because I got all emotional.
Go back to the thing. When I ask you questions about you, stop taking about other people. You always recommend them at the end.
Yeah. Well, here's the reason why. They worked with me to say, let's do a special QR code that says, welcome, Go High Level audience, and gave them extra bonus material that's not on the normal cheat sheet. And so that's one of the things I'll be doing going forward is anybody who finds me through social media, that's fine. They'll get one document, but people from an event will be tagged and tracked differently, because they paid to be in an event. They bought a ticket, so they deserve a little bit more than other people will get. So that's what we worked on, was a best practices sheet in addition to the cheat sheet. And now, because we know that they came from that event, we can tag that they came from Go High Levels Summit. And that's the same thing I'll be doing. So I'm speaking another 3 events in November. And most of them are private, so I can't do that. But at the event I'm speaking at with Steve on November 22nd, I'll do the same thing. It'll be a special QR code for people who bought tickets versus a company who paid for them to be there. And what else can we offer? And so you're right. It's how do you do things differently when it's live? And this wasn't a whole lot of time to get up and talk. It's not a normal 90-minute presentation. But I got to tell you, it was cool to walk out because they had the flames shooting up.
Yeah, I saw that.
When you walk out, they had the CO2 cannons. They did it right. And the coolest thing about it is, obviously, Go High Level is a CRM. But the way they set it up was probably one of the best picturesque events I've seen, because not only was I speaking on stage, but they put my name up and down the sides. So it made for fantastic photos, or people are like, you go to an event and you don't know who the speaker is, or you walk in late and then you're trying to figure out, hey, who's that talking? All you had to do was go, oh, okay, that's their name. And unlike some events we've gone to where they misspell my name or they put a typo in, you literally made it impossible to not find me, because my name was in 14-foot letters, that went across the entire auditorium. It was freaking awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But back to your thing when you said you have 2 private events you can't do it at. Why can't you do it at the 2 private events?
Oh, I can. It's just I want to be able to, people who invested in themselves and bought a ticket versus a company paying for it, I think we need to give them something a little extra.
Right, but you can still give them something because you're at their event and say, this is only for you guys and this little thing.
Yes.
They don't know if you give something different to the other people.
True. What I give to those is a recap and advanced cheat sheet of everything that was in the PowerPoint, because the company's paying for me to be there. So instead of the lead magnet that everyone can get, I take the PowerPoint after we finish with them, anything that we customize for their presentation. Then I turn around and say, here's an advanced copy of the cheat sheet to send to your people once they get home. In addition to, I give them the basic one up front.
Yeah, but I'm people who sign up is what I'm talking about. Who sign up from that event should be able to get something different.
Yeah.
And because I went through my website to do lead magnets, and it was amazing what it came up with and stuff, that because we've never done that. Use AI to, hey, help me. And I dropped my book in. Here's my website. Here's this. Right. Now create me a lead magnet for this, and then recreate it for this. And it did 2 separate ones, one for veterans and one for everybody else.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I did one for reverse mortgages and one for business. And it's like, wow. So now, because I was talking to somebody else and they're doing this whole store, and he's like, how are you getting people's emails? Because the email is where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't understand that, because you can be shut off any social media, and you have to boost all your posts on social media for all your people to see it, where it used to be everybody saw it, but now they want you to pay to have everybody see it. So you want to get the emails. Emails is where it's at. That's why if you go to any site, they go, we'll give you 10% off if you give us your email and your text message. That they'll give you that percentage off to get that digits, because they know how valuable it is to send you stuff down the road.
100%.
I asked this guy, how you doing this? He goes, well, I asked them if they want to join my newsletter. I'm like, nobody wants to join your newsletter. Nobody cares about your newsletter. If you're a podcast, technically maybe, but it's about community. And that after this event high level, and I went in and I researched everything about the communities and all the different things, because community's been there for a while, but there's been some problems with it, emails and different things. And so a lot of people went to other services that are out there. Correct. But now, as of this new release and everything done, it's pretty much like school to a certain point, with leaderboard.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting you say that. I can't remember who I was watching the other day, but somebody said that they think school is going to fizzle out, because so many people hopped on because Alex Hormozy said he invested in it. And so everybody follows what he does, but not a lot of people are sticking with it versus Facebook groups, whatever. But to your point, everything that I saw about how collaboration is going to work within Go High Level, it's pretty impressive. And the fact that you can have an app on your phone, who they're partnering with. And that's one thing that I saw that was very, very brilliant, is they're not trying to do everything. So it's no different than what we just talked about a little bit earlier. Like, I need to stop eventually doing videos and farm that out to someone else. They don't look and say, we have to do everything in-house. They say, who's the best in the industry that we can partner with to make our product better? And they listed all the people. So just giving examples, They talked about who they partnered with for the collab app. They talked about who they partnered with now to make it easier to take multiple transactions, Stripe, all the different companies that are out there. So they're constantly looking at who do we need to integrate with to make ourselves better and build partnerships. And that includes speakers, courses, software. You and I were talking before we went live. If you move everything over, if you transfer your WordPress site over to Go High Level, they just partnered with the fastest, what do you call it, latency?
Yeah.
Is that a good term for it?
Well, here's the thing: is the speed of how fast it loads is very important, especially with mobile.
Right.
If you got 3 seconds,
yep.
And if you don't do in 3 seconds, people move on.
That's exactly it. So they partnered with the one who will push your website out the fastest, and I think it was like ridiculous. It was
the lowest, ridiculously. I mean, compared to who I have now, which I do this boosting and everything else to get it pretty fast,
right?
But then all of a sudden, my mobile stuff just slowed down, and so I'm going to be moving mine over because now that they have done that, so that's the plan.
It's a smart plan. Like I said, granted, when you're at an event, you're obviously going to come hyped off of because you're at their event, you're surrounded by it, you're living in the moment. But you know me, I'm kind of a skeptic, but I was thoroughly impressed with what all they had and the amount of people. You should have seen the awards ceremony for people who've been using their product and what they've achieved. So people are familiar with like the 2 Comma Club with ClickFunnels and things of that nature. They had no less than 200 people getting an award for what they've achieved. And, in High Level's only been around for so many years. I mean,
2019.
Yeah. But you didn't really hear about it till 2 years ago. I mean, that's the first time it was popped on my radar, and they're based here in Dallas. But what I've seen people be able to do with it is crazy.
Well, it's like what happened with ClickFunnels originally, how big they've gotten and how people still are getting those. It's funny how many people have those awards behind them who are doing everything on Go High Level now.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. You and I were talking about this a little bit before we started. I'm always amazed at speakers who come in and say, well, you only paid me to be here for this time, then left. Because while I got to be on stage, I got to share information, empower the crowd. The power came from sticking around the entire event and walking around networking. So I got to meet Jim Edwards. He's the original copywriting OG guy. I had a conversation with him for an hour that was absolutely amazing. Met a girl named Stephanie Couch. She's a LinkedIn expert, and she covered so many things. I'll have to share my notes with you on her on what people are doing wrong on LinkedIn. And so they brought in all these speakers with a little bit of knowledge. And so rather than, I live in Dallas, I could have gone over for just my event, left, and that was it. But I was there Sunday through Thursday, and I could have snuck over there Friday, but I had kiddo stuff going on, to just continue to learn and network, because that's the power of going to these events. You can always buy the recordings afterwards, but it's the connections you make that make the difference. You and I have talked about that before. That's why you used to go to TNC. That's why get in the room is more important than ever with AI and automation. And, you think, oh, I'm DMing somebody. And are you talking to them? Or are you talking to their virtual assistant? What are you doing? Getting in the rooms, talking to people is where the power is, and why people should buy the tickets and get their butts in seats.
Yeah. Well, at the TNC, the VIP area is where you want to be.
Yep, exactly.
Just sit in there. You don't have to go watch anything.
Right. Well, you
can watch it when you get back.
Yes. I just realized I did something home. One second.
No, we don't hold on. We just keep going. We don't hold on.
I know. I realized I kicked something. All right. So anyway,
yeah, it was just, and I wasn't even there. And it's like the stuff that I've seen from and I'm like, okay, this is, and you know what? Spend the time just watching some of the YouTube videos that are out there of what you can and can't do. Some people there's a couple of really good ones who actually explain the stuff really well.
Yes.
I know they're trying to get you to work with them, but we all talk about you give it away for free, and then people will come to you to hire you to do stuff.
Yes.
Well, there's some people who are just ridiculously on how expensive they want to be on this stuff. And, and it's the core stuff is not that big of a deal once you understand how it's put in there. It's not put in. I don't want to say it's not put in there the way I would have done it, but it's put in there a little differently. And once you understand the different processes, it's very easy to understand how you create the different things.
Right. what Go High Level can do for people who aren't familiar with the CRM or anything like that, or have only worked for big corporations. Imagine Salesforce, but for a small to medium business that is just kicking ass everywhere. I mean, they've come on, like you said, they've been around since 2019, but really 2 years ago is when they started hitting their stride. Because I remember Steve spoke at it's here in Dallas. I went as his VIP guest two
Was that
years
last
ago.
year? Okay.
2 years ago. And that's where Frank Kern was there, Billie Jean was there. They went after marketing influencers, and they give a really good commission back, right? If you're an affiliate for them, 40% back is insane for affiliate fees. And to look at where they were, I think I wrote it down. Now they have, like, when I was there 2 years ago, they had a couple hundred people, but now they're at 1,500 employees across the US. And they put on this event by themselves. It was absolutely insane. I'm going to look at some numbers real fast. Okay. 15,000 employees, 17 countries, 90,000 customers, 2.5 million businesses run on Go High Level. Last year alone, they booked 62 million calendar bookings, and then they had 320 billion actions within the platform. So that is lead magnet, conversation, DM, you name it. And in just their communities, they've got 10 million members.
Well, I use it a lot for my podcast, and a lot of people are like, I love how it keeps telling me that we're a week out, we're 3 days out. I've only had 2 people who didn't, and I didn't do their podcast. They didn't do my podcast.
Yeah.
But what's nice is you could, even if like you could have this just for yourself. And you have, and because a lot of people do it and they sell the brands or whatever, but each podcast could be a brand, and then you could have a white label of that podcast on people's phone. There's so many things you can do with it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're just like Chat GPT. You're limited by what you can ask it to do.
I was literally going to say, it's like where we were 2 years ago with Chat GPT. If you're not getting in now, you're going to be late later. If you're a small to medium business, if you're still like I was, and this is no shame, if you're using MailChimp and you're using all these other, 8 different trying things and trying to Frankenstein it all together, stop, go high level. It's that simple.
Yeah. And if you can't do it, find somebody who can do it. But there are so many people now, they're trying to sell this. I mean, there's companies that have been in my business. They're doing one thing. Now they're trying to get us to sign up underneath them for our websites and everything else through High Level. I'm like, I know exactly what you're doing. You're trying to get all this affiliate money on top of what you get charging us. If you're getting 40% back, why don't you just charge us the $249 or $299, whatever it is, get your 40% back, and then charge, a little bit more for this or that, but don't charge this ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah. It's, well, you know how it goes. Some people are
It's
a little
just
bit
like
greedy.
somebody you told me that how much they want a month eventually to do the stuff they're doing for, other people do like they're doing for you. And it's like, that's a lot of money to give. Because when I first found this stuff was 2 years ago, and it was all about all this marketing stuff. You'd sign up and they would do all these ads for you on Facebook and everything else. And then but you would pay a certain dollar. Then out of that dollar amount they would do the marketing. So you didn't get much.
Yeah.
You got a few phone calls and you had to go through them, and they were this whole thing. And I felt it was like a bait and switch, because they called it, stuff you could do for heroes.
Yes.
Right. But it was doctors, nurses, firefighter, all this different thing in military. And then they were talking about down payment assistance. Well, the problem with most of those people, they make way too much money for down payment system support. So to me, I was like, okay, well, you make too much money. This is just horrible to get people to call in for this reason. So that's just me.
I think people are trying to figure out how to use the software. And to your point, it used to be like any other software where you needed an expert to really get you up and going. But you and I talked before the call. You had a conversation with somebody who's like, hey, I'll move your stuff over and everything, and I want $8,000.
Yeah, 2 courses plus move my website over $8,000.
Yeah. And then you dug into the software and you're like, oh,
watch a couple YouTubes, and it's not that big of a
I
deal.
could do that by myself. So it's kind of like you and I talked before. There was a company we both used that they were great at designing something, but then their support was an absolutely ridiculous price. And one time I was like, hey, how much just to keep my website updated? And they're like, oh, you have to buy a block of support at $2,500, and it's going to cost 10 hours to do the work. And I went to WordPress, and it's like, hey, you want us to update yours automatically? Click this button. And when you see that, then you're like, okay, I now know I can no longer trust you because you're in it for the money versus providing support. Now we all need money,
Right.
but their true answer should have been, hey, it's a pretty simple process for us. It's going to be 2 hours worth of work, because really it takes them 10 seconds, but they could verify it's all working. But the minute you find out that somebody's grossly overcharging you for something that's very simple, then your trust is gone. Now, I'm not talking about a plumber is worth every bit of money when they figure out where your plumbing issue is, but when it's literally something that you can watch a YouTube video and fix, and then you find out that somebody's kind of been doing it way, 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 way overpriced and continues to do it to you, then you're like, okay, I'm going to figure out how to exit them, and I'll damn sure make sure to never refer anybody to them.
Right. Well, it's like if you're paying affiliate, don't charge more to pay that affiliate to that person.
Right.
Then work it out in your numbers. You know what I mean, ahead of time. But because that was my worry of that thing, was they were still paying somebody else.
Yes.
For that referral.
Yeah. Well, that's the day and age we live at. And I even posted something last week, as a speaker, you're paid a lot for the hour that you're up there, but it's because of the years of experience. So we're not saying if you have a specialized skill that you shouldn't get paid your worth. What we're saying is don't take blatant advantage, and don't lie about what it's going to take to perform a service for someone. So if it's using the case of what we talked about, don't tell me it's $2,500 and I have to buy all this when it's literally a button click for you. Because the minute I find that out, you're done in my book.
Right. Or you could just say, you know what? Well, my biggest problem is SEO is huge. And then and you can even use AI to search your website and see where you're missing certain things and what you need to do. There's so much you can do. And the other day when we were talking about this, I don't think we were live or anything, but you were like, well, at what point do we worry about if they're telling us the truth?
Oh, that was ChatGPT.
Yeah. I know, but I'm just saying, we assume the information they're giving us is right.
Yeah.
And so here's what I did. So I changed my workout, and there's 3 authors I really like, plus 2 podcast hosts I really like what they talk about. So I told it to search those authors and those 2 podcasts, and this is what I'm looking to do. And it came back and asked, I go, what questions do you need from me? Blah, blah, blah. Answered those, and came out with this amazing workout program.
Yeah.
And 7 days a week, 6 days really doing different things. And the way taking everybody's thoughts and everybody's opinions of those 4 or 5 people and figuring out which is overall the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Which is shocking.
It's like we talked about before. If you figure out how to ask the right questions, it's crazy. And we need to do an episode where we just show people, like, people understand ChatGPT, but did you know that you can explore different GPTs that people have already put into models? Like, hey, I need a copywriting GPT. There's ones out there. So we should do like a show and tell one day where you go in and talk about how to use ChatGPT, and then how do you use, what's one you use for breaking down the podcast and everything else?
Cast Magic.
And then I'll go in and show how we use Opus Clip. So one day we just need to do a tools of the trade Tuesday and Thursday, where on Tuesday you talk about the tools that you're using to be successful. Then on Thursday, I'll go in and show what I'm using between Opus Clips and CapCut. Let's show people how easy it is.
Right. The other thing is, I was just thinking, and I just lost. Oh, there's a new one called Typeset AI.
Okay.
Supposedly you're able to drop your stuff in there and it creates ebooks and certain things automatically with pictures and other stuff. I want to check that one out, because I came up with these different things for ebooks, and it's like, okay, well, now you need to go into Canva, and because there is it'll tell you what to do in Canva, but it's not going to automatically create it in Canva. It's not like, Opus Clips, where you like create this AI, and I use Opus Clips with the B-roll, and I tell it what it wants, and it goes, finds it, or creates it. And then 9 times out of 10, it's amazing. I have another one where I use through one of my mortgage companies that we do all of our posting through, and you can change certain things through with AI, but a lot of times, why? I mean, at first I was like, I'm not going to use this stuff because no one's using it.
There's one, let me make sure I'm saying the name right. It's called like JV Zoo. So Joint Venture Zoo. Yeah, JV Zoo. and it has, what do you have? And so there was a software yesterday. I'll send you the information on it, but it was AI interactive books. You go and type in a keyword, it writes it for you. It does pictures for you. It supposedly puts it in the right format for Amazon and everything else. And it's $40. So I'm going to buy it. I'll let you know how it works.
JV Zoo. Well, hold on. One JV Zoo I just came up with is paying customers top porn affiliate. So which JV Zoo are you
so
using?
it's here, let me see. It's jvzoo.com. So johnvictorzoo.com.
Yeah, like the zoo.
Yeah. And I'll forward this one to you, but it's AI interactive books. And that's the other thing that caught my eye is an interactive ebook.
No, JV Zoo. JVZOO.com comes up with free to use for sellers. Instant connect your businesses with paying customers and top performing affiliates.
Yep. And so what they do is you can put your software out there.
Oh,
so I'm going to show you this.
I thought you'd say like books.
Well, no, that's the software that's on there today. So I'm texting it to you right now. Let me go over here. So this is one I'm looking at. But yeah, here's what it says. Let me move it so my eyes aren't all over the screen. Interactive books, builds authority, capture leads, you name it. So choose your topic, customize with engagement elements. It lets you add clickable CTAs, videos, and quizzes for your readers while they're in it. And then you can publish it. Now you can also, in this one, you get a commercial license that you can also write books for other people.
So this is an app?
Yeah, it's an app.
Yeah, okay. So, but the AV Zoo is a system that you put information in it to sell it to other people.
It's like AppSumo. So if you ever used AppSumo, it's the same thing. They go out, you've got a new software, you reach out to AppSumo, they get a percentage of the cut. Same thing.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that. So it's throwing me off.
Oh, yeah. No, they're the warehouse.
So what's the name of the actual company?
What's that?
What's the name of the actual app?
I just sent it to you in email.
If that's not, that takes me to JV Zoo.
Right. But then you click on I want the ebook. So it's called Interactive Books. So AI interactivebooks.com.
Publish your life look interactive books in any language for just 60 seconds using AI.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to buy it. I'll play with it. I'll let you know. But it's $40. So I thought, why not?
Yeah. So I was playing with ChatGPT the other day, and I told it to write me a 60,000 word book.
Yeah.
And it came back and says, okay, I will do this, and it'll take me 5 to 7 days of blah, blah, blah. And then nothing happened. And then I said, where's my chapters? Here's your first chapter.
That's interesting.
Well, and somebody else said, yeah, I'd like to really think, if they really is doing it. So it was supposed to produce something. I'm going to go in there and check it out, see if it did. Because it's just, I'm like, what more can you do with it? Because at what point, if you create it and you come up with certain things, it's a ghostwriter for you.
Right.
I mean,
yep, that's exactly it. And I watched an interesting talk by a guy the other day who's talking about how to gamify ebooks and courses. And then this popped up. I'm like, interactive ebooks are great. So like I said, I'm going to buy it. I'll let you know what happens. We'll talk about it. But I do think let's pick a week or two and just do show and tell.
Well, show next week I'm not here because I'm in Vegas for my 20th anniversary. We're going
high school reunion.
Yeah. No, we're renewing our vows at the same little Whitechapel that we ran away and eloped to, so we didn't have to have a huge wedding. So we're going to go back there and redo that. Yeah.
So I have a party with all the people out there. How long are you going to be out there till?
We're Monday through Friday.
I get out there Sunday. So I'm flying in on the 2nd to do a podcast.
What's Sunday?
The 2nd. The 3rd.
Yeah, I'm getting there Monday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be there Monday the 4th. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh God, my days are okay.
The 6th is our anniversary.
I forget what week we're in. So yeah, I'm on Tamara Thompson's Build Your Authority podcast on Monday out at the Wynn. So I'm flying in Sunday night, have that on Monday, and then Tuesday morning I fly back to Dallas to go pick up kiddo.
Yeah, we so we'll get in Monday, afternoon sometime. We're staying at Virgin.
Nice.
Well, we just let's stay at a different hotel. We haven't been at a hotel. And then she wanted me for my gift to do the racing, right?
Like the Lambos and all that?
No, I don't want to do those. I've been in those. I'm talking like NASCAR kind of stock car racing.
Gotcha. Okay.
But the problem is it's only on Saturdays right now, and we're not going to be there through Saturday.
Well, I will text you something that you may do that's creative that I'll text you offline. It's a very Vegas-y thing.
Okay.
But anywho, all right. I think let's do a show and tell one week. We won't do it next week, but I do think we talk about a lot of tools that people may get overwhelmed with. So let's do a show and tell. You take
All
a
right.
Tuesday, I'll take a Thursday, or vice versa, and just say, hey, look, here's what's helping us get out there. Because I get a lot of people reaching out going, how the hell are you growing your Instagram so fast? I'm like, it's consistency and creating these interactive videos.
Also, it helps you being on stages.
True. That's
Yeah.
very, very true.
That's the
But
difference.
like,
You finally figured. So now when people find you, because once you cracked 60,000,
Yeah.
people thought you were real.
Yep.
Prior to that being where you were. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. That's one thing that I do want to dig into also is, have you been reading up on the FTC and how they're going to come in and crack down on people?
Mm-mm.
All right. So for everybody here, this is kind of an important thing. If you're still on with us, so which I hope you are at 30 minutes in, go and Google FTC and social media. So the Federal Trade Commission is basically coming after social media, and they're saying as of a certain point, if you buy followers, likes, engagement, they may fine you up to 50,000, and that they are going to basically make you put little like disclaimers on your website saying, I bought followers or I didn't buy followers. And that's going to be very interesting because a few years ago, people did that. That was part of the, hey, you want to be a speaker?
It's still there.
Yep. But now it's going to be very interesting. So yeah, go and Google FTC social media, and they're talking about fines of up to 50,000 because a lot of people misled people by buying followers. And, just like the whole, is it your Lambo or are you leaning on somebody else's Lambo? So basically, if you've been making false claims about your success and telling people that, they're going to make 500,000 to $1 million on all these things by buying your course, they're coming after people. And so there's a guy named Anik Singal, Naik, who he got dinged in a lot of his courses, and it almost bankrupted him. And he turned it around, and now he's created a business out of helping entrepreneurs understand what do they need to do the right way so they don't end up in the same boat as him.
Well, don't make false claims. How about that?
That I know, but that's not so. Social media is a bunch of false claims. It's people showing this.
Well, no, they're going
life
after
of this
people who have
manufacturer.
false claims on selling stuff.
Right.
There's a ton of people make false claims. That's okay. As long as it has nothing to do with making money off of somebody and trying to get people to buy stuff. But what they're talking about is you're making false claims. It's the same thing if you're on TV. It's the same thing if you're on radio. It's the same thing you're on a lot of stuff. So you have to be very careful. And just like prime example, the Trump thing this weekend with Joe Rogan, when, I guess it was Friday. But they didn't show certain things during the show because they didn't want copyright things against
they
it. So
talked about that.
Down.
Yep.
Yeah. I watched it. Did you listen to it?
I watched the first 30 minutes of it.
Yeah. So, because it's important. That's what people understand is how they get you to knock down something is they get a copyright claim against you. Whether or not it's true, it could take forever to get it back. And then you can't post it anyway because it's been dinged already.
Okay, real fast. So this is from the FTC.gov website. Federal Trade Commission announces final rule banning fake reviews and fake testimonials. The rule will allow the agency to strengthen enforcement, seek civil penalties against violators, and deter AI-generated fake reviews. And when you read through it, it talks about what they're going to look for. So it includes followers, reviews, testimonials, even if you use celebrity testimonials without their permission or it's fake or false, buying positive or negative reviews. Let's see, reviewer suppression. So if you get bad information, you take it away. Misuse of fake social media indicators. So it prohibits anyone from selling or buying fake indicators of social media, including followers, views generated by a bot or a hijacked account. So basically, they're coming after a lot of what's out there, and they're talking about fines of up to 50,000.
Yeah, that Donald Trump interview, 34 million plus.
Wow,
views. He's never had one that big. That's his biggest one ever.
Well, the funny thing is, just like we're a divided country, some people are like, F yes, it's one of the best things ever. And then other people say, show me how Joe Rogan was paid off by Elon without saying he's paid off by Elon. So it's...
Dude, the whole thing that when I was searching for it to see how many people just now, CNN, 34 things false, whatever. It's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Move on.
Just let people watch.
You were talking about the event that he had last weekend was a Nazi event. You guys just shut up, everybody.
It's the same on the other side. I saw that And I was scrolling through and they said, oh, look, Kamala tricked everyone in Houston by saying Beyonce was going to have a concert and she only talked for 3 minutes. And that's why so many people were there. And it's just watch what you want to watch.
That is true.
Believe what you want to believe.
Dude, they said it's like their DNC. She was supposed to be there, and everybody's waiting, and I keep bringing it up. She's supposed to be here. She's supposed to be here. Well, she's supposed to be there, and they never said she was going to give a concert. They just said she's going to be there, so people assumed that. So she talked for 3 minutes and left, and anyway, I mean, I thought someone else talked about it and said I would have went if it was a free concert.
Well, 22 days away, and then it's gonna be a whole other thing. Well, not even 22 days.
It's not 20. It's like 10. It's next week.
Oh yeah, I started early voting. Shit,
it's next week, same day.
Crazy. Oh, that's right, because my kiddo's out of school because they gave them that day off just so people can go. Yep, because of voting and everything else. Yep.
Talking about your kids voting.
Yeah, she could.
They got to get those extra ballots.
You're right. I can't believe I keep thinking we're mid-October, not November's a few days away. God.
Yeah. Everybody's thinking that. It's like, oh, it's 15. No, it's not. It's 7 days away.
All right. So here's what I think we should do in November. Show and tell. And I think we need to talk about social skills because people are going to be going to Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas parties. So maybe we'll bring on like Janine Driver on one of the episodes and have her talk about body language.
Dude.
What's that?
Get your copywriter guy.
I am. I just got to foster that relationship a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I do know who we're going to
have on because they like that.
Yeah. I know who we're going to have on for Thursday. So Thursday, we're going to have someone who's going to help us talk about how do we make our brand stand out.
He was supposed to be here a week ago, but then something came up.
True. That's true. Now it's just going to be, we have to wait for him to get his hair cut, which obviously I don't understand those things, but
yeah, me too. I just throw a hat on.
Yeah.
So just like that Hims commercial. I wear it all the time.
That's right. All right. We've been going on for 36 minutes, but we have a plan for the future. So
we always have a plan.
Yeah. So once again, everyone, this is Ed Parco and myself on Aces53 on days like today, which is a Tuesday. It's just Ed and I bantering back and forth. Then on Thursdays, we bring on a special guest we call a joker, which is someone who has a skill or talent we think you guys can benefit from. And the best way to support us is to like, subscribe, and forward this to someone else that you think would benefit from it as well. So thank you all for being here, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
All right. Thanks, Brian. I almost said something.